Hazrat Khalifatul Masih V, may Allah be his helper, presided over a virtual mulaqat with members of Khuddamul Ahmadiyya, the Gambia, on Saturday. The mulaqat began with tilawat and hadith, followed by a nazm of Hazrat Muslim Maud Raziyallahu Anhu.
Assalamu alaikum, beloved Huzur.
Wa alaikum salam.
I had to recite a poem written by Hazrat Muslim Maud Radiallahu Anhu, advising the Khuddamul Ahmadiyya worldwide. Nani halane jamaat mujhe kuch kehna hai par hai ye shar ke zaye mera पैगाम न हो
पर है ये सर के जाए मेरा पैगाम न हो
नानी हालाने जमात मुझे कुछ कहना है.
The Khuddam also delivered short presentations.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi, brother Huzur. It's a privilege to stand before you and deliver a speech on the topic importance of financial sacrifice. Sacrifices varies depending on the circumstances of every age. In today's time, financial sacrifice is very essential, and it's clear from the above narration that Allah Almighty Himself takes care of such a person who takes part in it with pure intentions. He never forgoes those who strive in His way with their wealth and possessions.
The second half of the mulaqat was dedicated to a question and answer session.
Assalamu alaikum, beloved Huzur. My question is, how can we serve the Jamaat and our country in the best possible way?
You see, you are called Khuddamul Ahmadiyya, servants of Allah. And the best possible way is that you have to be sincere and honest with your work. Right? Being a khadim, if you are assigned any duty, you should always be ready to discharge that duty, to serve the Jamaat. And as far as your country is concerned, you should always be honest and sincere to serve your country. Right? When you are working in some government department, you should be very much sincere and honest. People should know that he is the person who is hardworking and honest and sincere with his work. He is sincere with the country. He loves the country. And as we say, that love of the country is part of your faith. If you have this thing in mind, then you will serve your country as an essential part of your faith. So these are the things you should always keep in mind, that be sincere, honest with your work, whether you are serving the country or the Jamaat, right? And people should take your example, that these are the people who are called Ahmadis, and they are very much sincere in their work and very diligent in discharging their duties.
Assalamu alaikum, beloved Huzur. My question is, what can Africa do to be self-sufficient and achieve development?
It is not only a matter of achieving some target of Africans only. Every nation who works hard will develop and achieve their targets. So the first thing is that you should give more emphasis on education. You see, your literacy rate should be very high. Not that every student gets primary education, but the target of the African government should be that every person of their country, whether it's a girl or boy, man or woman, should be highly educated. The minimum requirement should be secondary education. And if it is graduation, then that will be much better. See, if you are educated and your literacy rate is high, then it will broaden your mind. Then you will try to see what the world is doing and where the world is going, and what should be our goals and targets and objectives. So you fix your targets, big targets, so that when you fix your big targets, you will work hard to achieve them. And be honest and sincere with your work, as I've already said. See, if you are a teacher, you should fully concentrate on teaching your student with full preparation. Not that you are not well prepared and go to the school and start teaching the students. If you are a worker, you should work hard as much as you can. If you are a bureaucrat, you should be very sincere and honest with your work and try hard to achieve the ultimate object of your assignment, or complete your assignment within the prescribed time and as early as possible. So, work hard, be honest and sincere to your work and to your nation. And that will help you to develop. And the basic thing, as I have told you, is the education. Every person should try hard to get better education, right? So if you are a well-educated person, then your goals will also be high, right? And use that knowledge and wisdom which you get for the betterment of your nation, for the service of your nation. Okay?
Yes, Jazakumullah Huzur.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Huzur, my question is that what are some of the benefits you get from the conducted mulaqats, virtual mulaqats?
You should tell me. This should be my question, not yours. Huh? Huh? So, do you think you are getting any benefit from this mulaqat or not?
Yeah, I'm getting benefits because I'm following some of the previous mulaqats on YouTube, and I have been following some of the answers you have been giving to some of those who ask questions and the advice you give it to the Qudams as well.
That is helping you.
Yeah, a lot.
So you have answered your question yourself? Huh?
Okay, Jazakallah.
At least one benefit is that, which I get from this virtual mulaqat, is that I can see your faces. I can see how strong and staunch the people of the community are in their faith. And I can see the love for the Khilafat on their faces, as I can see on your face. So this is the benefit which I am also getting.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, beloved Zur.
Wa alaikum salam.
My question is, since many people are skeptical or afraid to take COVID-19 vaccine, what is your advice regarding it?
You see, if the vaccine is available there in the Gambia, you should try to get it. So don't worry. And they want to vaccinate you with the anti-COVID vaccine, then no harm in getting it. Okay?
Jazakallah.
Assalamu alaikum, beloved Hazur. In the Holy Quran too, Allah mentioned about the jinn and mankind. So what is the difference between the jinn and mankind from the Jamaat's point of view?
You see, jinn, there are quite a different connotations of word jinn, right? Jinn means anything which is hidden. This is why bacteria is also called jinn. Those people who live in the hidden places and they do not come out publicly, they are also called jinn. Those big people, they keep their distance from the ordinary man, they are also called jinn. So there were people who were called jinn in the Holy Quran, mentioned in the Holy Quran, who came to listen to the words of the Prophet of Islam sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? And they said that we have listened to the words, and these are the true teachings, and we should try to believe in this thing. So that means they were the people, they came secretly, they didn't want to expose themselves, and then they went back to their country, and there they spread the message of Islam. So anything which is hidden is called jinn, and all the big people who keep themselves away from the ordinary person, they are called jinn. Anything hidden, bacteria, is called jinn. Holy Prophet ﷺ has said that bacteria is also a jinn. So this is the definition of jinn. Otherwise, in terms of human beings, jinns are also human beings, but those people who claim themselves to be above the ordinary person, and they try to keep themselves distant from an ordinary men, ordinary people. See, this is the difference. Otherwise, not much difference. This is what we can comprehend from the teaching of the Holy Quran, from the Holy Quran, right? Okay? All right. Now, Sadr Sahib, your time is over.
Mullah Khairan, beloved Huzur, we are very much thankful to you again for giving us the opportunity to spend time with you despite your busy schedule. We will continue to pray for you.
Thank you, Jazakallah. Allah Ta'ala bless you all. Okay, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
A second virtue event took place on Sunday, once again in the Gambia. This time a virtue class for Atfalul Ahmadiyya. After tilawat and short presentations, the Atfal took their own opportunity to ask questions on a range of topics.
What are the ways of establishing meaningful relationship with God?
So the best way is that you should always think that whatever you are doing, Allah Ta'ala is watching over you. Whatever you do, Allah Ta'ala is seeing. So when you have this type of mindset, that whatever you are doing, Allah Ta'ala is watching over you, then you will not do bad things, right? And you will try to follow everything which Allah says to do. And you try to leave all those things which Allah Ta'ala says that you should not do, right? So always think that Allah Ta'ala is seeing your every deed and action, wherever you are. You can hide yourself from the people, but you cannot hide yourself from Allah Ta'ala. One thing. Secondly, as Allah Ta'ala has said, that 5 daily prayers are obligatory. You have to offer these 5 daily prayers. So when you are praying, then you pray to Allah Ta'ala in your sajdas, that Allah Ta'ala make you strong and staunch, that you have good relationship with Allah Ta'ala, and Allah Ta'ala listen to your prayers. And when your prayers are listened, then you will develop your relationship with Allah Ta'ala, right? In a much better way. Okay? So never leave 5 daily prayers. And while you are praying, you should pray to Allah Ta'ala that He should make this bond stronger and stronger ever before.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi beloved Huzur.
Wa alaikum salam.
My question is, who should I please in order to please Allah?
Allah Ta'ala says that you should say durood to the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Right? If you say durood, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin, kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidun Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin, kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidun Majid. Then Allah Ta'ala will be happy and He will listen to your prayers. it will please Allah Ta'ala. So, Allah Ta'ala says that whatever written in the Holy Quran, these are my commandments. And whatever the Holy Prophet ﷺ has done, that is his sunnah. So, if you want to please me, you follow the sunnah of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. Right? And then later on, as prophesied by the Holy Prophet ﷺ, in the later days, the reformer of the age will come. So Allah Ta'ala says, if you want to please me, then you accept that reformer as well, who was the true servant of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and whose advent was foretold in the Holy Quran as well. So, if you accept the Prophet Messiah ﷺ and follow his teaching, that you will also please Allah Ta'ala. Then, after that, the system which has been given to us by Allah Ta'ala after the demise of the Prophet Messiah ﷺ, that is the Khilafat, then if you are attached to the Khilafat, then you will become one community and a strong community, and then there will be unity. So when there is unity, then Allah Ta'ala will be pleased to see you that you are united. So first thing is that when you please Allah Ta'ala, then you have to follow the commandments given in the Holy Quran. Then you follow the Sunnah of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, then his hadiths and traditions. Then also try to accept and follow the teaching of the Prophet Messiah ﷺ, which are the true teaching of Islam, and the explanation and elaboration of the saying of the Holy Prophet ﷺ in the Holy Quran, right? Then in this way you can please Allah Ta'ala. When you follow all these things, you will please Allah Ta'ala, and ultimate goal of a person should be to please Allah Ta'ala. And if you please Allah Ta'ala, and Allah Ta'ala will be happy to see you if you are following all these things, and then he will accept your prayers and he will be happy with you.
Assalamu alaikum, my dear and beloved Huzur. My question is, as children, can we celebrate our birthdays?
You see, as Ahmadi children, yes, you can celebrate your birthday in your houses. No need to spend money on inviting people on your birthday. So you can sit together with your family members and prepare some sweet and enjoy it. Some cake, some pastry, and then make a feast even and enjoy it, whichever you like. But to invite so many people and celebrate it in a way which is a lavish way, it is not permissible. We never celebrate the birthday of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. So even if we don't celebrate the birthday of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, what is the need to celebrate our own birthday? But just to enjoy it, to remember that today is your birthday, so you can just sit together with your family members, and even your mother can prepare some good food for you, even cake or pastry or something like that, or some other sweet, or whichever food you like, any feast you can enjoy at home. But not to invite your fellow students like this. No, there's just wastage of time and money, right? Instead, if you have enough money, you can give some amount to the charity, so that the poor people can also enjoy some food from your money. There are quite a number of poor people in the world who are even deprived of their daily food. They are hunger stricken. They are suffering. So instead of spending money on something which is just useless, you should better help the poor people so that they can at least eat food and enjoy their life. But also you should celebrate your birthday by offering 2 rakats, 2 nafal. Pray to Allah Ta'ala that Allah Ta'ala has blessed you with this life and blessed you with so many things. So you thank Allah Ta'ala for this and also seek His help and pray to Allah Ta'ala that He always give you strength, more strength in the future, so that you can be a useful asset for your Jamaat and for the nation. Right? Okay?
Assalamu alaikum, my beloved Huzur. My question is, how can we love Huzur and be dedicated to the institution of Khilafat?
You see? Yes. If you are following the commandments of Allah Ta'ala,
Yes.
and following the instruction of the Khalifa of the time, right? The main thing is that you should love the institution of Khilafat. And once you are determined, you will try your level best to save the institution of Khilafat. Then that means you are the person who loves the Khalifa of the time, right? So, and also follow the instructions given to you by Khalifa of the time, right? Because Khalifa of the time always gives you the instruction according to the teachings of the Holy Quran and the Sunnah of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and according to the further elaboration of those teachings by the Prophet Messiah ﷺ, right? So, if you are following the instruction of Khalifatul Masih, listen to his sermon, then that means you love the Khalifatul Masih and you are determined to save and help the institution of Khilafat. And that should be your sole and main purpose. Right?
Jazakumullah. Which prayer does Huzur like and recite the most?
There are quite a number of prayers which I like. I like the prayer Rabbi Inni Lima Zalta Ilayya Min Khairin Fakir. Oh Allah, whatever the blessing you bestow on me, I am in need of that. So there are quite a number of prayers. Rabbi Habli Hukman wa Likni bi Salihin wa Jali Lisana Sidqin fil Akhirin. Right? So that Allah Ta'ala give me the wisdom and knowledge, right? And make me to be with those people who are Allah's loved ones. And they are doing good deeds. And then also give strength to my words so that people can understand it. So there are so many prayers, so which I like and recite, and Durood Sharif and Istighfar as well. Istighfar is the main thing which a person should recite, and I also try to give more emphasis on doing Istighfar. So you should also do Istighfar and say Durood. So Allah Ta'ala will save you because of this from the sins, any bad thing which comes into your mind. So if you are doing Istighfar, Allah Ta'ala will save you from it. So you should also do Istighfar. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम प्यारे हुजूर।
वालेकुम सलाम।
प्यारे हुजूर, मुझे गुस्सा बहुत आता है और आप दुआ करें कि मुझे गुस्सा ना आए।
गुस्सा बहुत आता है?
हाँ जी।
अच्छा, तुम्हें गुस्सा बहुत आता है, तुम्हें गुस्सा ना आए तो तुम ठंडा पानी पी लिया करो जब तुम्हें गुस्सा आता है तो। तुम्हारे छोटे बहन भाई हैं, बड़े बहन भाई हैं?
छोटे बहन भाई।
तुम सबसे बड़े हो?
हाँ जी।
कितने साल के हो? 10 साल के?
हाँ जी, 10 साल का हूँ।
अच्छा, तो तुम छोटे बहन भाइयों पर रहम किया करो ना। तो छोटों पर रहम करना चाहिए, उन पर गुस्सा नहीं आना चाहिए। तो ठंडा पानी पी लिया करो, तुम भी इस्तग़फ़ार किया करो, फिर गुस्सा नहीं आया करेगा। और ठंडा पानी पी लिया करो, ठीक है?
ठीक है।
अच्छा, और आगे?
Assalamu alaikum, beloved Huzur. My question is, we want you to visit Gambia.
Okay, then pray for it. Huh? Pray that Allah Ta'ala make my visit to Gambia as early as possible. Right? I also want to visit Gambia. I don't know, you are more anxious for my visit or I am more anxious than you. Okay, we should both pray. Allah Ta'ala, when Allah Ta'ala accept our prayer, then I will visit Gambia, inshallah. Okay? Then I will see you there personally. Okay? Okay. Now, Sadr Sahib, time is over. Almost 1 hour. So I think it was a good meeting with your Atfalul Ahmadiyya. I don't know whether they enjoyed it or not, but I enjoyed sitting with them.
MashaAllah, we enjoyed all the mulakats we have with you. And we are very much thankful to you for dedicating 2 special weeks to the Republic of the Gambia.
But what about Tifa Atfal? Did they enjoy as well?
I'm quite confident that all of them enjoyed. And they are all answering that they all enjoyed it.
Okay. 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 Allah bless you all. And see you next time, inshallah, sometime. Okay, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.